David Martin to keep the drive alive. Send him down to the 6-yard line as the Packers try to penetrate the end zone for the first time in the game. John, what's the early scouting report here on Rodgers?
Well, he looks pretty good. I mean, you know, and that's what he has to do, because he really didn't have a good preseason. And I think that, you know, I mean, you say this is garbage time and it doesn't mean anything, but to Aaron Rodgers, it means a lot. I mean, this is the NFL. This is regular season. He's 4 for 7 for 31 yards, and you know, things are kind of falling apart around him. I mean, he doesn't have a good cast in there, and he's playing against a very good defense.
Bart Scott makes the tackle on Noah Herron.
Although, having said that, I wouldn't be willing to say, okay, now I've watched this much of Aaron Rodgers, and I'm ready to let Brett Favre go, and let's play with this guy, and we'll go on and win. I'd never do that.
But on the other side, if you're Brian Billick, you have to think after tonight, you know, I've got a guy that I think can be my starter next year.
No, and I think Brian Billick is still thinking of 3 games. You know, he didn't talk about 1 game. He didn't talk about, you know, tonight's the only night. It's a 3-game package. Okay, tonight, pretty good. Okay, then the next one, then the next one.
Good play fake, buys time. Rodgers to his left. And then just throws it away because nobody is open.
And he knows the rule. Once you're outside that tackle box, you can throw the ball away legally as long as you get it back to the line of scrimmage.
He and Driver probably not on the same page right there.
But you know the other side of that is you look at the division that the Packers are in. And okay, you know, I mean, you get some of your guys back, and you get a player here or there. You get a dominant defensive player. You get a couple of offensive linemen. You get your running backs back. You know, how much better do you have to be to win that division?
Well, that division became this year a lot better than you thought it would be, because Chicago's defense.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, remain. 3rd down.
And when the season started, you went, oh, the NFC North, some team's going to win it and go 7-9. Then all of a sudden, Chicago gets on that roll because of its defense. Minnesota wins 6 games in a row. Right. And up until yesterday, it looked like they may have 2 teams in the playoffs.
No, but I still think there's no big, you know, highfalutin dominant team in that division that you'd have to, you know, reach to the sky for.
3rd down and goal. The ball is at the 13-yard line. Rodgers pressure, throws, and that's picked off in the end zone. And Chad Williams is going to run around for a little while, but take a knee. Just for a second, thinking about that 107-yard interception return. And then thinking, oh no, what if it's a safety?
Just for a second.
Right.
ESPN Live Thursday. The new dynamic duo, Manu, Oberto, and the champion Spurs are currently riding high in the West. They head to the Garden to face the Knicks. Spurs, Knicks, Live Thursday. The NBA on ESPN.
To the Meadowlands next Monday night, the New England Patriots against the New York Jets. Sunday night, ESPN. The Minnesota Vikings come here to take on the Ravens in Baltimore. And Bowler is done for the night, so you're going to see Anthony Wright at quarterback, and he's going to hand the ball to Chester Taylor, who gets banged out of bounds. And a flag is thrown at the end of the play for a late hit after a 13-yard pickup.
That's going to be on Nick Collins, I think. And again, I think those things happen when 41-3 is the score, and it happens out of frustration.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness, number 36. It's a 15-yard penalty for the end of the play. First down.
Kyle Bowler tonight. Good numbers, very impressive. 3 touchdown passes.
You know, I think it was important for him to have those kind of numbers, not only to impress his coaches or fans or critics or anything, but to impress his teammates. You know, when you have a team and you have a good defense and your offense isn't scoring points, sometimes you get a little separation.
Jamel White, he gets bumped out of bounds by Barnett, taking some folks on the sideline with him. AFC playoff picture as Week 15 concludes. Indianapolis has wrapped everything up, and of course the undefeated season went down the drain yesterday with the loss to San Diego. Denver at the moment would have the #2 spot. Cincinnati also 11-3. New England has clinched a playoff spot and the division, so they're going to get a wild card home game, and then you've got Jacksonville and Pittsburgh at the moment as the wild cards with others in contention. For the 41.
And I think you have to watch out for those Patriots. I mean, I know they did, you know, early in the season because they won the Super Bowl last year, and then they had injuries, and you know, they lost some games and stuff, and they kind of got under the radar there, but they're still the champions. And well, there's something when you can get in a playoff game and you can bring that much championship experience to it, you have an advantage.
They've won the Super Bowl 3 times in 4 years, and the way it's setting up right now, and of course a lot of things can happen, but it could be Jacksonville and New England right again in the wild card game, and then what would happen is New England would wind up going to Indianapolis, so you'd have New England at Indy in the second round of the playoffs.
And that would be interesting. I mean, you know, it's one of those things that, you know, the Colts got them in you know, in New England earlier this year. I mean, so they finally got that thing off their back, but now I think you go back to it again and have to address it again. Okay, now it's playoffs, and I know it's in Indianapolis, but it's still, can the Colts in the playoffs wherever beat the Patriots?
That's why it's the best time of year.
Yeah, it's great. Plus Santa Claus is coming.
Right, Sunday.
Yeah. Merry Christmas to everyone.
You done all your shopping?
Oh no! Don't
started?
Don't blame.
Zastudil to the 17-yard line. Fair caught there by Chapman with 5:36 remaining in the fourth. 41-3 Baltimore.
ESPN Sport Legends presents Sonny Liston. After serving over 2 years in prison for several muggings in 1950, Sonny Liston was released into the care of his new family, a group of fight managers with ties to John Vitale, the St. Louis underworld figure.
He was hired to go around and intimidate people. If they needed a kneecap broken, dial Sonny Liston.
On September 25th, 1962, Liston earned his first title shot versus Floyd Patterson.
Floyd looked like he was going to his execution.
After 3 decades of rejection, it took Liston just 2 minutes and 6 seconds to capture the attention of the world. Respect, however, would take longer.
And when he arrived in Philadelphia, came home to Philadelphia and got off the plane, there wasn't anybody there. And all of a sudden, Sonny realized he was still Sonny Liston, the gangster.
And now, more great moments on ESPN. The year was 2004. The San Antonio Spurs and the Los Angeles Lakers were locked in an NBA Conference semifinal. Tim Duncan scores a clutch point, only to be outdone by Derek Fisher. A celebration of sports memories from around the globe. Great moments on ESPN.
Most of the crowd has departed or is departing. Very happy about things because Baltimore wrapped it up early. Team owned by Steve Bisciotti, who took over a couple of years ago from Art Modell. Art not here tonight, but still lives here in Baltimore. And for Art Modell, who was very instrumental in Monday Night Football coming to fruition, Roone Arledge, Pete Rozelle. Art owned the the Browns at the time, and we've come full circle here. Cleveland playing in the first ever Monday night game, and there's Art on the Ring of Honor here. And the second ever Monday night game was in Baltimore. It was the Colts in Kansas City, and the second to last as far as the ABC Monday Night Football era is tonight right here. Second down and 7 from the 21-yard line. Rodgers. That's caught up at the 37-yard line by Antonio Chapman. Looked at the AFC playoff picture now as far as the NFC is concerned. Seattle's won 10 straight. They've clinched a bye, but not necessarily home field advantage. They have to win another game to do that. Chicago, New York, and Carolina all 10-4. At the moment, Tampa Bay and Washington would be your wild cards. Dallas, Atlanta, and Minnesota all with 8-6 marks. So that's going to go right down to the last weekend in all likelihood.
Well, the Redskins looked good yesterday, didn't they, against the Cowboys?
Who could have figured that?
You know, and the other thing is, you say Seattle wins 10 straight, and kind of quietly. I mean, maybe it's because they're up there in the corner or whatever, but I think they have that thing that maybe they don't get any respect. But, you know, somewhere you have to look at those guys. And everyone seems like Carolina. You know, when they don't know where to go in the NFC, you say, well, I'm not sure I like Carolina. I'm not sure of that either.
I love that about Seattle. They're always up there in the corner.
Yeah.
Like there's no other corner. I mean, Miami is down there in the corner, right?
No. There's another team that's up there in the corner too. Buffalo.
Right.
Buffalo's up there in the corner. And sometimes you forget about the corners.
You forget it. Exactly. You only cover the middle. You forget about the corners. I mean, San Diego's another team down in a corner.
How about Jacksonville?
Yep.
They're down in a corner.
They're down in a corner. You don't think about it, but I have to laugh with Seattle. It's almost like, you know, some outpost is the way a lot of people think about it.
But I mean, they're a very good team. I mean, they've had good offense this year. They have good defense, and Mike Holmgren, you know, of course, you know, coaches Packer team, but you know, has been a good coach for a long time in this league.
3rd and 5, and Rodgers is going to take a timeout with 4:06 left. And the Ravens on their way to an easy victory, 41-3.
After the bench did more than its fair share in the first half. Here's Gang, a part of the rally here in the second half. Whirl away.
About next year if they get all their guys back, the people that were injured this year. And how about Samcon? Got him! R.W. McCorders can't catch him!
The NBA on ESPN Live Thursday. The new dynamic duo, Manu, Oberto, and the champion Spurs are currently riding high in the West. They head to the Garden to face the Knicks. Spurs, Knicks, live Thursday. The NBA on ESPN.
And a Merry Christmas to you, our friend.
We're coming to the end of that, though, aren't we? It'll be tough.
3rd down and 5 at the 42-yard line. And Rogers couldn't get it away. Suggs with the sack.
What did Suggs call himself in the introduction?
I was just trying to think of it. T-Sizzle?
T-Sizzle,
from A-State. He went to Arizona State. T-Sizzle, A-State.
Yeah. Well, T-Sizzle is lined up at linebacker, and he comes on a light or green dog, and he just kind of stays with it and gets Aaron Rodgers. Someone has to block T-Sizzle, man, or he's going to get a sack. Holy moly, what a
short kick flag. And the run back here by B.J. Sams.
That was a heck of a hit. I mean, there's going to be a flag on it. I'll tell you that those two guys were part of the collision, and that was a collision.
Dennis Haley and John Leake, two linebackers.
Illegal block in the back during the return. Number 56, be a 10-yard penalty. First down for Baltimore.
So say the ruddy-cheeked Tom White. Monday Night Football brought to you by Staples. That was easy. Autotrader.com, the smarter place to buy and sell a car. And Samsung, the official HD TV of the NFL. Baltimore. Used to come in here doing baseball with Cosell, John. Howard. Yeah, Howard. Oh, that's a Renaissance city. You can't believe what's going on with the harbor. And the mayor came over to have lunch with me today, Jamel White, for a game. The mayor was, the thing with Howard is that the mayor, you go to Baltimore, you go to Pittsburgh, the mayor came over, he showed me the plans for the redevelopment of the city. So every town became, like a great town. You can't believe the Renaissance is going on here.
Why did they always go to see Howard?
I mean, they knew Howard was going to do that. It's a city on the rebound. You can't believe the reconstruction. Oh, boy.
See it. I can see it.
2nd and 5 from the 34. Howard always liked to say, I had lunch with the mayor, too. That was another way he could do it. Michelle comes back next week. She wants to know, do we think Bob Greasy was really cheering for the Colts, as he said? John, the question for you about whether you rebuild the team or make sure Brett stays. And finally, and thank you, Sam Ryan, doing a great job while Michelle was on maternity leave.
Oh, well, thank you, Michelle.
Yeah, we're going to miss you, Sam. You were great.
I'm going to miss all you guys. You know, the toughest part is I didn't get to work with Michelle. Well, Michelle comes back next week, and she'll be with us for the finale, the wild card, and then, of course, the Super Bowl. We wrap it all up in February. Jamel White. We're always going to think of Sam Ryan as SamCon now because we did the Packers twice in the last 5 weeks. The 2-minute warning in Baltimore.
Scott?
Mm-hmm.
Did you possibly switch chairs with me?
No, not me.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Good luck finding your chair, LeBron.
Okay. Okay.
The NBA on ESPN Live Thursday. The new dynamic duo, Manu, Oberto, and the champion Spurs are currently riding high in the West. They head to the Garden to face the Knicks. Spurs, Knicks, Live Thursday. The NBA on ESPN.
From Memorial Stadium in Baltimore, Maryland, the 1970s Kansas City Chiefs and the Baltimore Colts.
Some of the would-be experts have said the ability to throw the long one is no longer there. True or not true?
Well, you'd have to ask the expert.
Has some of the spark left your club?
I don't think so. Of course, in a few minutes, we're going to find out.
Dawson goes to the air for the first time. He's going for Richardson. He's got it. He's got a touchdown. Fumble. Johnny Robinson's got it again.
Well, he's recognized as the best that there is.
Morrow throwing. Touchdown.
The old Colts are coming back.
Dawson will throw. He loops it for Pitts. Touchdown.
Kansas City is really hot tonight.
Second Monday night game ever. The last shot of Mike Garrett, now the athletic director of the University of Southern California. So Dawson and Unitas and Hank Stram. Old Memorial Stadium. You had a couple of nice wins there.
We had a great win there at Old Memorial Stadium. I think it was one of the great NFL games. It was a divisional playoff, and we played the Colts and went into 2 overtimes. And then we finally beat them in the 6th period. It was a great game. It had everything: offense, defense, kicking, back and forth, weather.
Christmas Eve, 1977. Ghost to the post. Chapman. John, you asked for it. You've got it. That goes to the post right here. It's December and you're in shirt sleeves.
Well, we should tackle better than that, though. There's the ghost to the post right there.
Yep. Dave Casper.
And here's the winning touchdown to Casper in the corner. That was one of those deals where we were in field goal range and we just needed a field goal to win the game because the game was tied, and it was either kick the field goal or take a shot first. So we took the shot first, and Dave Casper caught that corner.
Rogers throws underneath the Fisher. So it's December. You're in a shirt, short sleeve shirt. By the way, we just want to go back to Atlanta to show you that kid is still there.
Remember last week? I mean, fireworks were going off, cannons and everything, and nothing woke him up.
Nothing.
His parents left, 2 hours before that. They never did come back and get him. He's still there.
Classic shot. 2nd and 6. Rogers tonight, well, he's 7 of the 13 through the air for 56 yards, and that's his first carry, 8 yards. The Trader.com post-game show will be coming up next. Highlights and interviews.
Well, Michelle had that question about Brett Favre, and I think that the Packers still have to be about Brett Favre. I mean, I think they have to retool. They got to, put some more meat in the shelves and get some better players. But they have to keep.
Chapman goes out of bounds here to stop the clock with 31 seconds. Horse trailer.
Monday Night Football on ESPN coming to its conclusion. It's been a tremendous performance by the Baltimore Ravens in what has been a very disappointing season. A season with just 4 victories coming into tonight. In 13 chances, they're going to pick up number 5 just a few moments from now. 1 week from tonight, Monday Night Football on ESPN, presented by Telcel, the Patriots and the Jets.
And again, not a do or die night for Bowler, talking about those 3 games coming down the stretch, but big, real big.
And you hate to always take a quarterback. It'd be nice if you could take, some of those defensive linemen that played in there. Dallas Thomas, the way he played, he was all over the place. Ed Reed and his hits. Edwin Mulatalo, take the big old guard. I mean, it would be nice to put some of those guys on. But, if the story is a quarterback and that's what they need. Maybe that's the way we have to go in the trailer.
3rd and 1. And Bowler has it taken away. And it's Thomas who winds up with it after Chad Williams dislodged the football. And with 17 seconds remaining, Baltimore adds 6 more.
Is it too late to add a guy? I mean, could we put a Dallas Thomas on there? Because he's been all over. I mean, he's been safety, linebacker, rushing from every place. He's a guy that hit Rodgers the first time and caused the fumble. This time he comes in and gets the ball and picks it up for a touchdown. He's been all over. He's been on the run. He's been on the pass. He's been defending. I think that would be a good horse trailer guy too, right here.
I mean, it's our horse trailer. We can do what we want with it.
Okay, let's do. Is that okay with you?
He's got it. Hey,
Thanks.
17 seconds. We can throw a couple more guys on before this is done. Stover for the point after. 48 to 3. 48 points, the most for the Ravens in their history. Again, even though they were the Cleveland Browns, in terms of the National Football League, they started in 1996 as the Baltimore Ravens. Mike Sherman. You know, if you listen to enough talk shows and read the papers and stuff, everybody's always talking about a hot seat. We haven't been into hot seats on Monday night through the years, the rumor mill and all this stuff. But Sherman is one of the guys people are talking about. He is signed through the 2007 season. Ted Thompson is the general manager in a role that Mike had filled up until a couple of years ago. I would think, if I had I would think he's back, John. I think this is a bad year, a terrible year. But I think when you take a look at his record and what he's done, you look at it and it's pretty much an aberration when you win in double figures 4 consecutive years and you lose all the people that they've lost this year. I don't know.
Yeah, I would think he's back too. I mean, it's tough when you go through a year like this, and it's tough to lose and it's tough to get your guys to play. But you know, Mike Sherman is a good coach. I mean, that's a thing. And if you say, okay, we're going to fire Mike Sherman, where are you going to go to find a better coach than Mike Sherman? I don't know that you're going to.
28-yard line, William Henderson. And even here in Baltimore, some speculation about, you know, Brian Billick, who's now had 7 years. The one thing that Billick, of course, has done is win a Super Bowl, which he did in the 2000 season. Question about Brian, and you know, Brian was addressing it last week with the media. He says, look, we all get evaluated. I'm going to be evaluated as well.
Yeah, but the way that he was talking last night, I'm sure that he's been assured that he's going to be back, because he was talking about next year and, you know, who he's going to sign, who he's not going to sign, who he's not sure of, you know, things he wants to do. So it was a lot easier for Brian Billick to talk about the future.
And even easier after tonight's game. Tony Fisher will run out the clock, and that's going to do it. So the Baltimore Ravens turn this one into no contest.
For our Latin American audience, Sports Center is coming up next. Ravens beat the Packers on Monday Night Football. We'll be back with more in a moment.
Relive another great moment on ESPN. It's the biggest day of racing in America, the fabled Indianapolis 500. Difficult to capture for the most savvy veteran drivers. More difficult for a young 26-year-old gunning for his first checkered flag at the Brickyard at Indianapolis. But Helio Castroneves defied the odds and won the big race, climbed the catch fence, and the legend of Spider-Man was born. A celebration of sports memories from around the globe. Great moments on ESPN.
Coming up, the Week 16 edition of Sunday Night Football on ESPN. Don't forget to tune in. The Minnesota Vikings surging in the second half of the season. Just had their 6-game winning streak stop, but still hopes of a shot at the playoffs. They will be in Baltimore to take on the Ravens. And 1 week from tonight, Monday Night Football on ESPN, it is the New England Patriots trying to clinch the AFC East division. They're already in the playoffs, but they want that division title. They are going to be taking on the New York Jets, their AFC East division rivals. Don't miss it. Tom Brady and the Patriots, the two-time defending Super Bowl champions, trying to win their division. Well, the Baltimore Ravens were very impressive this evening with a 48-3 victory over the Packers. We'll show you some highlights when we come back.
Relive another great moment on ESPN. It's the biggest day of racing in America, the fabled Indianapolis 500. Difficult to capture for the most savvy veteran drivers. More difficult for a young 26-year-old gunning for his first checkered flag at the Brickyard at Indianapolis. But Elio Castroneves defied the odds and won the big race, climbed the catch fence, and the legend of Spider-Man was born. A celebration of sports memories from around the globe. Great moments on ESPN.
Well, the fans at M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore going home happy this evening. The Ravens, of all teams, put up 48 points in a victory. A prolific victory over the Green Bay Packers. Let's see how they did it. Let's go back to the first quarter. B.J. Sams takes the punt. Looks like this is going nowhere, but Sams busts out. He ended up going for 49 yards in all. Already into the Packer red zone. Drive would be capped by a Kyle Bowler to Todd Heap 2-yard touchdown pass, putting the Ravens up 7-0. And still in the first quarter, Jamal Lewis from his own 25-yard line. Going to take the delay, beats one man in the backfield, gets a great block on the corner, and is out for 17 yards. On the same drive, Mark Clayton, wide receiver, takes the direct snap and goes around right end. Jamal Lewis, a punishing block on the corner, helping him get in for the 11-yard score. Ravens were up 14-0. Second quarter, Packers had added a field goal. They were looking for more. Brett Favre rolling right. This one's going into double coverage, though. Samari Roll, the easy pick here. Ravens take over at the 4. Little primetime Deion Sanders imitation there. Favre's 23rd interception on the season. This drive would go 16 plays and 96 yards. This is the 13th play of the drive. Bowler finding Derek Mason 27 yards into the red zone. And then 3 plays later, Bowler looking for Randy Himes. Going to have one-on-one coverage out on the side, and Himes, the leaping one-hand catch, put the Ravens up 21-3. Could Kyle Bowler come up with some more? Sure could. Look at this beautiful ball to Todd Heap, their second hookup of the game. Heap now with 6 touchdown receptions on the season. The route was on 34-3. Aaron Rodgers came in relief of Brett Favre. Adalius Thomas, though, comes in, forces the fumble. Ravens take over. Jamal Lewis looking to get the Ravens to the 40-point mark. Blasting forward in the pile, he does. 3rd touchdown on the season for Lewis. Aaron Rodgers, well, welcome to the NFL, Rook. Sacked and forced fumble. How about thrown into triple coverage in the end zone? The heir apparent to Brett Favre certainly had a rough time tonight. He did complete 8 of 15 for 65 yards, but he was picked once. And his pocket was picked twice. Adalius Thomas this time had it pop right into his hands, and he took it 35 yards for the fumble return touchdown for our final margin. 48-3. Mike Sherman beside himself here. This was an embarrassing performance on the road. They fall to 3-11. 25 first downs for the Ravens, not known for their offense. Get 182 on the ground and 153 more in the air. 5 Green Bay turnovers. Baltimore didn't turn it over at all. Here's a look at the playoff picture in the AFC. The Colts have clinched home field advantage throughout the AFC playoffs with their 13-1 record. The Broncos in the AFC West have clinched there. The Bengals have clinched the AFC North. The Patriots have clinched the playoff spot, but not the division yet. Jaguars, wild card contention. Steelers, wild card contention. If the season ended today, they be in. The Chargers and Chiefs also have a chance to get one of those 2 wild card spots. A lot more to be determined still in the NFC. The Seahawks are in the playoffs, and they have clinched the NFC West with their 12-2 record. The Bears comfortably in first place in the NFC North. Giants, Panthers also leading their division, but a whole lot more to be determined. Buccaneers and Redskins would be in if the season ended today, but the Vikings, Cowboys, and Falcons still alive and a chance to make the playoffs. So a high-scoring affair on Monday Night Football on ESPN. Well, at least as far as the Ravens are concerned. For our entire ESPN crew, I'm Mark Brown. So long for now. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com. By the final score of 48-3, the Ravens beat the Packers in Baltimore.
ESPN thanks you for watching this presentation of the National Football League. ESPN thanks you for watching this presentation of the National Football League.